There's an innate fear inside of all of us. Well, most people, if you're a normal person. This type of innate fear is one we experience whenever we're trying something new or want to become great at something. That fear is breaking outside of our comfort zone. The fear to progress further than the specimen that we are currently. And this is a normal feeling. To be complacent in one's life is something that most people desire. However, are you holding yourself back? Is there a life that you truly desire that you also fear? Maybe it's the fear of the unknown that nerves you down to the core. Maybe it's the fear of failure. Maybe even the fear of success. That seems to be the case with Kenpachi Zaraki, a person who held himself back after fighting Unohana. After this battle, we see him fall into a descent of depression, a depression that will haunt him for hundreds of years, leading him to suppress his powers in battle. Of course, the reason that he suppresses his powers is so that he can be brought to the edge in the rest of his battles that he faces his whole life. In this video, I want us to analyze Kenpachi as well as bring you, the viewers, to the forefront and how deep inside you truly relate to Kenpachi's suppression of power. Before we get into today's video, I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm currently approaching 1,000 subscribers and would greatly appreciate the support. Anyways, with that out the way, let's get straight into the video. Kenpachi Zaraki is of course one of the most popular characters in the entire series of Bleach. He's the 11th captain of the Gotei 13 with his lieutenant being Yachiru, his partner that we see throughout the entire series of Bleach up to Thousand Year Blood War. Yachiru is always accompanying her captain, but we'll get more onto her later. The topic of this video is Kenpachi after all. Of course, he is an iconic captain of the entire series. From his fights, from the fact that he's the only captain who doesn't know his Zanpakuto's name, to even just his appearance. From his eye scar, pointy black hair, to his eye patch, every single characteristic of this captain screams iconic. His personality, however, I feel like is more than meets the eye. When it comes to his personality, Kenpachi isn't as moral as you may think. Of course, watching Bleach, this should be obvious. However, he does do things for the greater good. He doesn't challenge those around him, friend or foe. However, when he does fight, depending on whatever mission it may be, his goal isn't necessarily to complete a mission. It's to complete the empty part of him that's in his life. And that, to him, is finding an opponent stronger than himself, to be brought nearly to the point of death and being victorious in his battle. He wishes to grow stronger, and because of this, actively chooses to suppress his power subconsciously, and sometimes even consciously, to enjoy himself a good battle, even to the point of threatening his own squad mates if they interfere with his battle. In every battle we see him suppress himself, or even warn and saves his actual opponent. We see him walk away from his opponents when he senses that they can't battle anymore, and tells them to challenge him again when they become stronger. For example, obviously in his fight with Ichigo, he wears the eye patch. It, of course, seems like all it would do is restrict his vision in battle. However, the eye patch also eats away at his spiritual pressure. Another example, in that exact same fight, he allows Ichigo to take a swing at him, but it doesn't cut him at all, and it actually cuts Ichigo himself. He warns him not to die too quickly too. In this battle with Ichigo, he's brought to his quote-unquote limit, and the battle practically ends in a stalemate, with him admitting defeat. Shortly after that, Kenpachi seeks to fight Ichigo again, and under the aid of Orihime and others, begins to look for him to battle once again. Of course, he's stopped by two captains, Tosen and Komamura, and he confronts both of the captains. Even under Tosen's Bankai, he enjoys the thrill of the battle and adapts to Tosen's Bankai merely by avoiding Tosen's attack at the last nanosecond. After defeating Tosen and beginning his battle with Komamura, suggesting that if he fights as he looks, that they can both enjoy a good battle. These are just some instances that of course are taken from the Soul Society arc. Immediately in the beginning of the actual series, past the Substitute Soul Reaper arc, we see the type of character he is, and his ambition to be brought to the edge in every battle he faces. However, is that the true extent of his character? Or, of course, is there more? It's later revealed in the Thousand Year Blood War arc that Kenpachi truly isn't the real Kenpachi until he fights the true one, Unohana Yachiru. It's revealed in this fight that every time Kenpachi dies or is close to death, he becomes a lot stronger. Unohana states that it is her sin. Of course, you could see it as metaphorically or literally, but is it truly her fault? Well, the short answer is no. It's not Unohana's fault that Kenpachi is weaker than he's supposed to be, it's his own doing, out of fear. That fear is becoming the strongest, and having no foe to face or to look forward to. In Kenpachi's childhood years, he faced the same amount of dissatisfaction as Unohana. in the sense that he couldn't find anyone stronger than him. That is, until he meets her, and they begin their battle too. Of course, the important part isn't that he loses this battle, however, is as to why he loses this battle. And that is because just before he loses, he suppresses his power to a very deep place so that he can enjoy the battle as much as he could, edging himself to the point where he will barely win and barely lose. Norhala releases him of this restraint that he put on himself by killing him over and over and over and over again. In his final battle with Unohana, he begs her not to die so he can enjoy the battle more, and that concludes the end of his fight with Unohana, as well as the suppression he's held inside of him for decades. I would love to do an in-depth analysis of Unohana and Zaraki, so if you would like to see something like that, then let me know in the comments below. For a long time, Yachiru served a big purpose in not only the relationship with himself, but with his Zanpakuto as well. Yachiru, being the spirit for the Kenpachi Zanpakuto, constantly cheers him on to win his battles and doesn't allow anyone to step into his battle, so that he can enjoy the risk himself. Not only that, but their origin stories are relatively the same, in which neither of them have a name. Yachiru doesn't necessarily serve as a developmental tool for him to break free from his suppression, but amplifies him after he does break free. It's not until his nerfs are gone and he doesn't choose to fight alone with himself anymore, is where he truly hears the name of his Zanpakuto, Nozarashi, from there becoming a whole lot stronger. Of course, this is the end of the suppression of his powers, but why? Why does he suppress his powers just to enjoy battle more? Does he truly let people live so that he can rematch them just because of his enjoyment of battle? Or is there something deeper? Is it the fact that if he is truly the strongest, he will become bored, lonely? We see that in his past, he truly was the strongest as a child, to the point that he was very dissatisfied with life, and when he meets Unohana, that changes. But when Unohana dies, he believes that he will go back to that life that he felt so dissatisfied in. If he's the strongest, what's there to look forward to if he succeeds in his goal? What would be the next step? Taking up piano classes? Of course, I don't think Kenpachi would be playing the piano without destroying it, so of course he should stick to battle. This exact fear of him being the strongest and achieving his goal is what holds him back from actually achieving what he desires. He's literally a living contradiction, and this fear is the cause. Of course, everybody has goals that they want to succeed in. Some people want to be the greatest at a certain sport, some a certain video game. Some people want to become rich or famous, and for each of these goals, there's obstacles in the way. And one of those is a fear of oneself. For example, fear of the unknown and what can be beyond the life that they currently live. Fear of failure and humiliating themselves from oaths and vows and what they've told others or even themselves what they would accomplish and not achieving exactly that. Even the fear of success, that after achieving their goal, life becoming meaningless, and even the fruits of their labor and the materialistic items that they once wanted become nothing. There's a saying that goes, it's lonely at the top. So for some people, they fear becoming so great that they can't relate to the people around them, knowing that eventually they'll have to cut ties with those people. Does any of these sound familiar? If you're someone who's yet to achieve their goals or yet to even begin starting to achieve them and is procrastinating those exact things they wanted, this may sound like you. I mean, it's even me, and beginning this YouTube channel gave me fear and anxiety in regard to the aforementioned circumstances. We hold ourselves back from our truest potential, the same way that Kenpachi Zaraki does to himself. Surely, everyone has an innate fear of not holding themselves back, and avoids chasing the exact goal that they desire. But what would happen if you or me truly stopped holding back and gave our life's desire to embrace fear, embracing failure or success in order to achieve these exact goals? What if we stopped caring about others' opinions around us? What if we stopped caring about what could happen in the future or what's already happened upon chasing our goals? Would we become more like Kenpachi, someone who's finally reached a level of completeness to even after succeeding has more to look forward to? Well, the short answer would be yes. To those who are watching this video, this is your own race to run. This is your life and you choose what to do with it. It's your choice to take on those exact fears or restrictions that hold you back from being complete and fulfilled in your life. Because if you don't take on those exact obstacles, it is possible that you could be met with greater dissatisfaction than actually achieving the goal that you're looking for and having no other goal after that. This is your only life, and this is not one that should be taken for granted to be locked in your own mind when there's things that you know you want to do, yet you refuse to. Whatever goal that you do have in mind, you can do it. It may be harder than you would like it to be. However, hard does not mean impossible. Reach for the stars and even further than that, and fill the space in your heart that the world couldn't possibly give to you. Ad Astra. Once again, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video and like this style of content, consider subscribing as well as liking the video. Any type of support is greatly appreciated, and I wish you all the best on your endeavors to become something greater than life itself.